This is my third attempt on recording the video. Anyways, so this video is about XSS reflected attack. So let's right jump in. So let's talk about the reflected XSS attack first. On your screen, you are looking at this is the one of the XSS self retweeting attack that happened some few years ago, like 7-8 years ago. And if I click on this link, let's just click on the link first. Open link. So this was the attack, which was like whoever is visiting that specific tweet, what will happen that they will retweet from their account. So this is one of the script that someone injected into the web page, and what happened is whoever will visit that specific payload, they will retweet it from their account. So that's just one of the example that happened years ago. Now, do still people find XSS attacks? So to answer that, let's jump back to my PPT, and if we go to the third PPT, you will see all these attack. Like there is this website from like uh, Indian version of Twitter, which is a coup service, and if you look at here, that someone has found uh, XSS vulnerability just last July. And again, if you go back, that there are few, one in Netify has found, there is someone who found access vulnerability in Netify, and then someone find vulnerability in Gmail, that and they have paid him $5,000 as a bug bounty. And let's also even now people, the just example that I showed you, those are the examples from now that people have still founding XSS attack. And these are the few attacks that I have picked from the HackerOne activity. So you can go there and you can see people still finding attack, like 7 days ago, disclosed 11 days ago. So people found finding XSS attack on all these websites, on these majors websites. So what is exactly XSS attack? So this is the standard website that I have picked from the one of the website, which is OWASP. But XSS attack is this definition. But let's talk no seriously, what is XSS attack? So XSS, in my opinion, is something in which attacker find a way to run a malicious web script, malicious script on the website. So let's say if you are entering some kind of form, right? And if there is a way that you can enter some kind of HTML which contains JavaScript in it, that you can pass through it, and then it start uh, running that JavaScript in that active session. So how does that look? And obviously further there, XSS has types. Let's say reflected XSS attack, and then we have uh, stored XSS attack, DOM vulnerability. But this one, in this video, we'll be talking about only reflected XSS attack. So what is reflected XSS attack? So in reflected XSS attack, whatever I will input to the website, they will reflect it. What does that mean? So let's go to Google, and in Google, if I try to type something, well, here they obviously they have showed me some results from Google. You know what? Let's talk about Amazon. Now, if on Amazon I try to search something, you can see whatever I have write, they have reflected me. So that is the way. First of all, it's like you go to any of the website if you want to find a cross-site scripting attack. First of all, in this specific attack, which is a reflected XSS attack, if you input something and your website echoes the same input string to you back, right? Now, that doesn't mean there is a XSS vulnerability. That only means that there is a possibility that can you further exploit this feature. So obviously now, this Amazon website or Google website, all these websites, when we talk about their search engine, maybe it's very hard to find vulnerability because they've been running for years now and a lot of people have been trying, so they keep on improving their source code. But like I said, in Coup case, which is the Twitter form, which is the Indian Twitter website, um, you can see that that is the website, I guess, that launched last year only. And then obviously reflected attack, why it happens first, let's understand. Because because attacker is inputting some malicious script, and then the developer is not able to filter it. So there is no logic which says okay, which is because it's only taking your input string, but it's not taking any malicious script. So if the developer has not any way in between to understand like whether the someone has injected the HTML or JavaScript or not, then whatever the attacker will input, it will start running on it. So that's what I'm trying to say, that you can find these attack in abandoned website, or maybe abandoned as in let's say all these websites, even they find Gmail attack in Gmail, Google. So if they launch any new service, or if they have any service which it's running but they have not been maintaining it, so you can always find attack in those areas. Anyways, so once, let's talk about the reflected again. So reflected is something in which whatever you input, it will reflect back. So like in case I search for something and they reflect back the something. So what will happen if I try to search for I'll try to add the bold, but they, whatever that I've input, they have reflected me back. Now like I said, the Amazon does not have the XSS vulnerability. It's just a way of showing you. But what we can do is we can go back to so I have prepared here a simple uh, a web server in which I have prepared a simple web server in which there is XSS vulnerability. So you can also access that on GitHub code. I will leave the link in the comment in the description. So let's talk about this a demo search page in which there is the XSS vulnerability. So let's talk about, first I will search for web security. So once I search for web security, you can see you search for web security. That means whatever I input, the website has reflected it, right? Now like I said, that's the queue, that means there is a possibility that there is some kind of XSS vulnerability that we can exploit further. So how I will test it, maybe I'll try to pass I guess it should work. Let's see if it will. So as you can see, I have passed italic and that has reflected. That means there is XSS one. There is a chance that can we exploit it further, because just passing HTML tag will not going to help you. What we are going to create ultimately, it will be a payload which is capable of running a JavaScript code. Now let's run a script code. So I'll say script alert one alert one script. Now if I entered it, as you can see that I'm also able to run the JavaScript code as well. Now why it is important, because some of the websites you are able to inject the simple HTML tag, but you won't be able to inject any JavaScript. So once so that these are the steps, I guess. I'm not an expert, but what I've been gathering information, like first you find all these endpoints. So this is one of the endpoint. When we talk about the endpoint, this is the one of the endpoint where you can inject. Like here you can, here's a form that you're filling for the search query, right? So all these injection points, like it could be it could be a part of URL like fragment, it could be a part of a form, it could be a part of headers, but here we'll talk about a simple case in which we have a form. Now like I said, the first step is finding such input, enter it, and you will see whether it reflected or not. Once it reflected, what you will try another basic payload, like maybe try to bold the string, maybe try to italic the string, or you can try write down the script tag. So once you can see the alert, because you need to see whether it's running or not, right? Alert one is a way to check that it's running. So now in this case, if I pass again script to alert one, you'll see that yes, whatever I'm passing the input, this looks like developer is not filtering that input, and it is reflecting that. Okay, now you find the XSS vulnerability. Congratulations. Now what? So I forgot about my PPT, but let's jump back to my PPT. Okay, I found XSS. Now what? So once the XSS vulnerability is found, what you can do, you can report on HackerOne. That's a platform where people, if they find any security vulnerability, they submit a report, and then HackerOne try to approach the company. First of all, lots of companies are already just registered there, so you can just find the submit report to them. But if the company is not there, they try to approach them, and I don't know, they try to get your bounty. I haven't done that. But so found a payload, what does that even mean? What's going to happen now? So look, you need to understand, once you can run a code in that specific active session, that means what you can do now is you can try to create a payload which you can deliver to the victim. So I mean, this is the way. I'm not saying that you have to do it. This is the way how attacker work, that they try to create a payload. Once they found the payload, once they found that there is any XSS vulnerability, what they will do, they try to create a payload. Now, what is payload will do? This payload will do some kind of specific action. Let's talk about a bank website. Let's say if there's any XSS vulnerability in bank website, then obviously whatever the actions that you do through your mouse, that okay, I'll add a pay or then transfer a payment or whatever, then all these action can be done with a script as well, because ultimately it's all the JavaScript code running behind the scene, right? So they can write such JavaScript which will do that action. Or let's say there is some kind of cookie is there, right? So what will get, attacker will create a payload which will write a session cookie to somewhere user attacker website. So once they have their cookie, they can hijack your session. Even here, if you look at it, this is not I'd say reflected. This is more like a persistence uh, XSS attack, in which the attacker have created a payload. Now what is happening, whoever is viewing this tweet, what is happening, if you look at this, that this is the class XSS. They're trying to find the parent means the real tweet from which this tweet is coming, and then they're finding they basically this retweet button, and then they're clicking on it. That means you're not even clicking on it, but because this tweet is running on your active session, this will just run that, like click like finding the parent of this tweet, which is the main window, and then main window has contained retweet button, and then clicking on retweet button. So so once they found so yeah, so that's how they can run a reflected XSS attack on your system. I have attached a GitHub code. This is my first video of XSS. This is my first video in this area, software engineering. I hope you liked it. We'll be talking more about all these attacks, and then finally the idea is to create an application which is we are thinking it's safe, but yeah, we'll try our best to make a website which is safe. Thank you for watching. Let's go.